So we have in the studio one of the VH member who recently joined and achieved the Hall of Fame club. Her name is Tanushree Nair. She is straight from Bangalore. She is an energy mastery and mindset coach. So welcome Tanushree and congratulations for entering the VIH Hall of Fame.
Thank you so much. I didn't expect this, but the other day when you sent me a message that you entered the VIH Hall of Fame, it really felt very happy. I'm glad. It's been a short time for me, but being there is a privilege. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Most welcome. The privilege is all ours. So Tanushree, primarily the Hall of Fame, club and the interview is to make people understand who you are, what you do, and how your entire digital journey has been, and what are you currently doing. So let's go to the first phase of this particular interview, where Tanushree, can you just throw some light on how did you started the digital journey and how did you thought of building your digital empire?
So, Mithil, it started 2011 is where I started with my social entrepreneurial journey with my denim upcycling venture called Karashil. And though I am educated as a B graduate in computer science, and I'm fairly good at technology that way, I never used that part in my social entrepreneurial journey then much because it was a solo entrepreneurial journey. And as many of you all know, that being a solo entrepreneur, trying to do everything from head to tail, sometimes becomes very overwhelming and cumbersome. And that time I didn't really take advantage of the social media that was available at that time. I was mostly on Facebook. I did start my business on Facebook then, but I didn't really put myself out there completely. It was only after 2019 when I started off with my journey, when I published my book, Bring Out That Red Lipstick. And I was going through some of my coaching certifications and all, and I came across Mithil's classes and sessions on digital marketing. I decided to take a plunge and see that what does it take for a person to manage social media. That way, I am quite social media shy. I was not a person. I would do all the front end work to showcase the product or my service, but I would always stay in the background. I did Mithil's video podcast mastery show. That was the podcast mastery course, and that was my first entry. The reason why I did that was because I think the pandemic had struck really bad, and there was no way I was getting that kind of a time where I could make videos because everyone was at home, and I was not really so prepared mentally to be on videos. And podcast was something which sounded very interesting because technically I wanted to send my message across, and if it can be done through audio method, it would really work for me right now because I didn't have the bandwidth to do videos. And I jumped right into this course. It was a 5-day course, and each and every topic was simplified, broken into good amount of parts, could be consumed easily. And I started my podcast by the end of 4th day, and within a month or a month and a half, I had 1,000 plays already. And that I felt was very motivating, very encouraging for me, because a person who is so shy about social media or getting my thing out there, talking about myself or my work was so difficult. But that broke down the part where I felt that it's okay to step out and explore the social media world. And Mithil and his courses have been instrumental for me to get out there and actually be in fact, after that I did a couple of his other courses and I brought out myself on videos. The best part was that, along with not just making your videos, but doing the background work of editing, clearing, and making it look professional, which otherwise would take tons of money. If I have to give it to a digital marketer or I have to call up a social media um, manager, it would have been a big hole in my pocket as a startup. And his courses gave me a confidence, and his weekly master classes were awesome, where we could really ask questions. As I went into the journey, wherever I was getting stuck, I could ask those questions. They were uh, with demos, in fact, with complete demonstration. You used to make us do things while you were teaching. And I think you couldn't get something so much hands-on from somebody as a mentor. And I have to thank you that my digital journey has been much more comfortable, not so difficult on me as such, and it has been very much comfortable for me.
Awesome. So Tanushree, that there are very few students who are very focus oriented, and along with learning, they also execute. And you are one of them, and I'm very proud to have you as one of the student. So
Thank you.
Tanushree, for having that laser focus and the zeal to do it, what was your why that made you to not just learn along with handling your business, your family, balancing everything, and your existing clients? So what was that why that kept you going further?
I think my why generated after I kind of reduced my work on my social entrepreneurial venture, Karashilp. I was in a contemplative kind of a phase at that point of time, thinking like, what is the next step? Like, what is it that is my purpose, or how can I impact or increase the impact of what I'm doing? Because to certain extent, being solo was hindering me. But I felt that I have always believed in collaboration over competition, and a community of what? I was not sure then. But as I wrote my book, bring out that red lipstick in January 2020, while I was writing, a lot of things started becoming clearer to me. What is my journey? Where has been my journey in the past? And what are the lessons? Sometimes when you are in that phase, you don't realize those lessons. But a couple of years later, when you just look at it as an observer, you find out a lot of learnings, lessons that were pouring out at that point of time, and you start connecting those dots. I think January 2020 to February was that phase for me where I was trying to, put my finger on that why that I wanted. And I realized that a lot of women are still, not just have been, but are still undergoing the same kind of challenges that I went through while I was working. Managing a child, staying in a nuclear family, away from, my main family is in Bombay and I'm in Bangalore. So I didn't have a support system as such. So a lot of challenges that women went through with trying to balance their career, trying to give their all when the first child comes along, and trying to maintain home and trying to, keep everyone happy. I realized that I lost a part of me in that bargain. And while I was in my social entrepreneurial journey, I regained a part of it. So I could see the stark difference while I was in my 10-year, a decade long corporate journey, IT journey, and a decade long of my entrepreneurial journey. And it struck me that there are more women like me who need help. I did not ask for help that time, and I sorely, I regretted that I didn't ask at that time. But this time shouldn't happen to others. I went through a lot of hardships during that time. Though my husband is supportive, my in-laws were supportive, everything, but that personal journey of transformation had to happen. And I felt that this is the time that I should extend my hand, my services. If there is something that I know, something little more than the other person, it benefits them, I should step out. And that is where my why became very strong. As and when I started speaking to more entrepreneurs, women leaders, women in professional careers, I realized that they're hitting a roadblock. They're even stepping out of their jobs because they are unable to handle some things. And there are some who feel that I cannot have it all, so let me just leave one part and just chase my career. So I just want to give this message that, you don't really have to select one thing or choose one thing over other. If there is peace within, you can bring that peace outside. So I have set out on that journey, I have been, I have learned energy healing, energy work. I'm certified in different meditation practices, Vipassana, and everything. But what I realized that there cannot be a healer in every family right away, or I cannot sit and do healing for everyone at this point of time. I have a physical constraint to do only this much in a day. So instead of doing that, why not fuse the world of energy, work, and mindset transformation and bring it out into small workshops and one on one coaching that I do with women to empower them to understand their own innate energies and learn to manage and balance them. See, you can work with time, you can work with effort, but if you don't have the energy to push through, you can even have money to do things, but if you don't have the energy or the right alignment to push through, you will not be getting that kind of a success, or you kind of go into a cycle of failures and starting and failures and starting. So this is where I thought that my services might benefit women, and one-on-one services are also with men, because I understand that there are similar challenges regarding energy on both sides.
So true. And the metamorphism that we have seen personally, like I have seen of you, from the caterpillar to the cocoon, and finally you are a butterfly, and now you are helping the other your tribe members to undergo the same process. And maybe you are basically acting as a catalyst to speed up the process of transformation so that they reach to the true potential that they deserve. I remember one of the incident where when you were undergoing the course Self-Made Entrepreneur. So there was a session where we did on niche clarity, and I could see that once we had done that Excel sheet, you had a tremendous clarity on what exactly you want to do,
Yes.
and you were like, so excited to take it further. So did niche clarity uh, gave you more insights and more, a better roadmap to your entire ecosystem that you're making?
So much that it is still the foundation. I still go back to that Excel sheet that you have shared that time. And because what happens is, it opens, like it's like a click, just you switched on a button that time. And the kind of direction that you had given at that point of time, because I was kind of going in loops and circles that time. And there was that point where you had just switched on a thing, and I just decided that I took a plain piece of paper and I started drawing things on that, because I realized that writing down is not helping me, and I started drawing, and I connected all those words that relates to my area of expertise, and I realized that I had it all here. It was just that I was not able to bring it all together, and that Excel sheet was so detailed and simplified. It was not like it was some rocket science there, but each thought was put in a clearer manner, so I could just go step by step by step. I did not have to reinvent the wheel there. I had to just go step by step, put my words, put my thoughts, because that was all I wanted to do. If I had to think about the process also and then think about my putting my things or connecting the dots, it would have been really difficult. And I have to really, I mean, I say this with utmost gratitude, because that was the time when I really needed somebody to hash this out for me.
Awesome. That's really cool. And glad that you were able to follow it, and you were completely inclined towards understanding the system in the right way. So that's the reason why you have that result that you are able to showcase to the world
I
right
do
now.
still use that, because as time has passed over some months, and almost like it's more than 6 8 months, I think now, but as time has passed, uh, it has got so refined now. Even today, there are, your content calendar Excel sheets and your niche clarity Excel sheet. I keep going back to it again. It keeps giving me new ideas. And
Awesome.
I wonder sometimes, how at that time I had thought about these words or these things, that even today it makes sense for me. I think even 1 year or 2 years down the line, it will still make sense for me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Tanushri, like since you are also a coach, I'm also a coach, and there are many people out there. So now this is very crucial. There are many things which is already available in the YouTube University. All the things are available on YouTube in most case. Then, do you really think that surrendering yourself to the coach helps you to escalate the learning process and the actionable items, or you can just rely on maybe free things and of course YouTube is also powerful, but do you think coach makes a lot of difference?
I'm very old school in this matter, Mithil. I believe that if you want to learn a skill, you should go to a teacher and learn it. And I'm very, very old school about it, because I feel even when I learned a hobby, for example, like when I learned crocheting or knitting, I sat beside somebody, they guided me through how to do these things. And yeah, I still feel that if there is any chance of getting that Gurukul system again, no, it should happen. There is nothing like having a teacher guide you through. And if you are in that space where you want a teacher to guide you or a coach to guide you, you have to leave your ego, your past learnings, your whatever current learnings are there outside the door and step inside. I feel even if you know a particular thing and if you can really find out things from the internet, there is something that an experience of a teacher, that block cannot be fulfilled by what you find outside. What if, see, I mean, been with you and some other coaches or teachers where if I'm not surrendering to the process of learning, I would not absorb it. I might really miss on some crucial detail or information which would really help me. It would be my loss, not the teacher's loss, honestly. So I feel anything is possible in this world. Everything is available on the internet. But even to find that exact information that you need from the internet, also you need a teacher.
Awesome. Glad to know that. So, it's been quite a journey now that you have in the digital arena. So, what are the current tools that you're using for building your digital empire?
I'm completely on Canva. I mean, I was planning to go for a pro version very shortly, but as of now, Canva is something which is a lifesaver for me. I have kept it simple. I have learned a lot of things from you, Mithil, but I'll be very honest. Since I'm not so much of, I'm not like a gadget person, but I decided that I don't want to get overwhelmed with doing too many things and trying to track too many things. I still maintain that simple Excel sheet that you have given as a tracker to check out my the number of people who have joined recently, or the analytics or the data. That way, I still use your simple Excel sheet that you had provided us to track all platforms. And then I use a content calendar. I do use, I have used Adobe Premiere Pro. I am using Photoshop, Illustrator. I was already using that earlier, but I think everything has come into a full circle when I do these things. I do use, I think my podcasting happens, so a lot of editing happens on Audacity and all those things. YouTube, a lot of, I use InShot a lot these days, because I think that's most simple for me to go down to it and just immediately work on it and bring out if there are small videos. I have become very regular and very consistent on Instagram. I did the Reel Mastery workshop with you, and I think that helped me a lot. That was really encouraging, the Reels part. So I do work with Reels. I do work. Instagram has become kind of, if nothing else, I don't put it on any other platform. I go and put it on Instagram. Somehow I'm very comfortable now with that. And LinkedIn is something that I've been using as a professional. And I've not used too many features of it, but I think whatever has been done till now has worked excellent. So Facebook groups, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook page in itself. These are the platforms that I am on currently. And for podcast, I'm there on Anchor, and I think it's get distributed to all the other places, Spotify and all those things. So.
Absolutely. So Tanushri, now let's go to the second phase of this particular interview. So, like, since you are into energy mastery and mindset and transformation, so what is an ideal journey of your students when they enter your tribe community?
So currently, I have a community called Simply Mindful. It is a free community that I've kept where we have weekly huddles or we have weekly circles. What we do is we join up on a weekend, like a Saturday or a Sunday, at 9 o'clock, and we sit through and we generally talk about what are the barriers or what are the problems or issues that people are facing. The whole idea of starting that community was to help people to get used to or acquainted to mindfulness practices. I don't particularly do meditation, but what the idea was that I realized that people are not able to sit still. They feel so disturbed at times that their thoughts start scattering everywhere, and that has been even with me, it has been the situation once. And I realized that having these communities events like the circles every week, people would get into a habit of sitting with themselves first, knowing themselves first. There are people who come to me for one-on-ones, and I really had a experience with people where they felt that I didn't understand what you're saying, or I didn't understand what do you mean by self-love, what do you mean by taking care of yourself. And this is such a basic thing that I think in India especially we ignore it badly. We don't take care of ourselves, and that is where my community I nurture my community from that perspective, that people have to first know what are their needs and wants and how do they meet their needs and wants, and then the rest of the problems we can resolve it. So the whole idea of community or my workshops or my programs, whatever I do, is to bring in self awareness or inner awareness and make people feel comfortable with it. It more on the lines of what you say, conscious living. Because once you start living consciously and integrate the holistic aspects of your life, then you can bring in career, you can bring in leadership. And like my first level is where I work on inner awareness. Second level where I have group workshops. And the third level is where I work on conscious feminine energy leadership. That is where I integrate all these things.
Wow. So that's quite a good journey. And in fact, people, rather than, getting completely feel like an avalanche of energy coming on them, just step by step tapping into the correct energy and opening up the centers of energy to get it to the next level. That's really good. So Tanushri, now the journey is good. So what is the current thing that you are actually working now so that your tribe really gets the full benefit of it?
I'm currently working on two things primarily. One is on my Reboot Feminine Energy Mastery program, which is a one-on-one coaching program. I am working on that very furiously. In fact, in April, I had kept the entire month, as it was my birthday month, I had kept it as a pro bono session where people could avail of 30-minute free discovery sessions with me. Since then, I realized that a lot of people do need that kind of a discovery session, so that free sessions are still available. Anybody who wants to get in touch with me to understand how we can be a right fit for their challenge or problem, and my solutions or my coaching would help them to understand that part, they can avail of a 30-minute free discovery session with me. And the second part that I'm working very furiously on right now is my digital course, the Soulful Living program. This program is all meant to work holistically on all aspects of our life and not just primarily on one problem or energy or time or effort. It has to, we have to first cleanse ourselves within and then fill up with more positive stuff. But if you are already filled up to the core with a lot of past things, it becomes difficult to add more new things. So the the soulful living program is thought and focused on individuals to take actions in micro steps, but do it consistently. So these are the two things that I'm currently I'm looking at it with a lot of focus and concentration right now.
Great. And I wish you really, really all the best. And I'm sure that you're going to be a rock star doing that and really helping a lot of people into it.
Thank
Wishing you all
you.
the
Thank
best.
you. Thank you so much, Mithil.
So Tanushri, with everything that you are doing right now, so how crucial you think, is the mindset behind this? That's the first question. And the second will be how much time as a digital entrepreneur you devote in building your empire?
So first question about the mindset. I think mindset is the driver. You cannot just sit in the passenger seat and expect it. As of now, Tesla has not opened up. So, I mean, in India at least. So, I think we can safely assume that you cannot sit on the passenger seat and expect that the car will drive by itself. So, mindset is a major driver. It's if your compass is not aligned, to your true north, you won't be able to figure out or put the components in place for the rest of the things. And I feel that people feel that generally that if I'm physically fit, I'm healthy, I can do more work. It's actually the other way around. If your mind is more healthy and your emotions are in a healthy space, you can drive yourself physically to do as much as possible, and in fact more beyond. And that is the place where you actually recognize or understand your true potential. So mindset, that answers the mindset part. The second part is digital empire. I had a lot of hiccups trying to adjust and put my time into both the digital part and my services and business. But over time, as the processes that Mithil had given through his workshops about maintaining a content calendar, I started putting up things well in advance. I know for a fact that at least 20 days in advance, I have some stuff ready. So it doesn't, torture me as much as it used to earlier do. I'm quite comfortable now. Digital empire wise, I hardly put like an hour or two. Some days I decide that I put an entire day and do the entire work for another 15 to 20, or in fact a month in advance. I do the shooting of videos, I do editing and everything. I just do everything in one slot and then I keep it ready. So that makes my life more easier. So I cannot really say that per day how much I do, but in I exchange that. Sometimes I do it in spurts. Sometimes I do it like consistently every day I put. But hardly it doesn't take me more than half an hour or 1 hour that way.
Awesome. That's really cool. And so, this is basically a true example of work-life balance. So you're not just completely devoting into work, but you're also trying to learn, spend some time with yourself and your family. Cool. So, Tanushri, now, before we this end this particular episode, what's the final key, success principle that you learned from VIH and me that helped you to be what you are right now?
I think the success principle is to keep it simple. It's to not overcomplicate things. I felt the hallmark of your the teaching that you do has always been to keep it very simple. Do the basic steps and things automatically unfold. So I think that has been a biggest learning and a takeaway for me from the tribe. Also also one more thing which I would like to add is involving yourself with the successes of others, or when somebody is climbing that ladder and just you being there to just cheer as a whole tribe. It's not just me alone. Like I mentioned, community over competition. I believe a lot in collaboration. So I found that spirit here in VIH, and I felt that each one cheers the other person's success. You have your success Mondays, right, Mithil? And every time I put something out there, and there is a lot of people who always cheer for that. Oh, that was a, and it feels so encouraging to have somebody holding your back, that community there behind you, and you know that if you fall back, if I feel bad, if I feel a failure kind of a situation, I can go and speak to these people, and they're there to put me back on track.
Awesome. That's super cool. So I wish you all the best, Tanushri, for your future ventures, and congratulations for qualifying, and achieving the Hall of Fame club membership. And very soon, looking forward to take your interview again when you achieve the Conqueror Club. So wish you all the best. Thank you so much, Tanushri.
Thank you and gratitude, Mithil.
Most welcome. So you were listening to Distal Mithil interviewing Tanushri Nair for her success over Hall of Fame club. So meet you soon with another hardcore member from the VIH community, working very hard, following the golden triangle and achieving the club membership. So thank you so much for listening, and do follow Tanushri Nair in all her social media. And if you really want to take your energy game to the next level, she is the right person to connect to. Thank you so much.
Thank you.